Hi everybody, Gert Louw from Cape Town. Welcome back. So you're over 40, you want to train, but you got bad joint pain. What do you do? Now I think there's just about no over 40, over 50, over 60, over 70 guy that hasn't got this problem. It is part of the game. As you get older, your joints tends to pain and ache more, your tendons, your back, everywhere. It's just ache. Now some of us accept defeat and we're going lying down, we don't do any more exercises, it just pains and aches too much and we enter the pot belly area. But then there's people like me and some of you guys out there that we just don't accept defeat. Defeat is not in our vocabulary. And you know what? It's been proven through various scientific studies that resistance training for a guy over 40, 50, 60 and 70, that's great. It's very, very healthy for you to do resistance training. We need to find a way of dealing with the problem. Not avoiding it, but dealing with it. Now to deal with it, it's going to require wisdom, a lot of wisdom, and well, a lot of things that you actually do on your diet, your training, your supplements, and your lifestyle. And those things is going to go a long way in helping you to manage the problem and to train effectively for muscle growth. But before we start discussing all these pointers on what you can do about it, one thing you need to understand, never ever train through pain. If you got pain, and be that now back pain, tendon pain or joint pain, it doesn't matter. If you got pain, try to train through it and think, wow, I'm the man, I'm going to do it. It doesn't work like that. You're going to take a small problem and you're going to make it into a huge problem. And you don't want to go that route, because the bigger the problem is, the longer you're going to derail your program. But never ever stop training because you experience pain. What you do is you change your training program, you change your attack, you change the type of exercises you do. Even if you temporarily has to venture into cardio type of training, just to keep training, and because you can't do any lifting, then you do whatever it takes, but never ever stop completely with your training. Many times it's actually a golden opportunity to start focusing on certain other areas of the body. I like many times when I had an upper body ache, like a tendon or whatever, then I focus on my ab training, certain upper body moves that I can do, and my leg training. Right, but let's go through the list of things you can do to really manage your pain effectively and be able still to grow with effective training. There's 5 areas we're going to deal with. Area number 1, let's see how you must train. Number 1, and I've said this in many of my videos, you need to have a cutting and a building phase in place. Now why cutting and building phase? Especially for the older guy, but even for young guys, this is wisdom, guys. You need to have this in place. You need to put the body through a cycle where you basically punish it for growth, and a cycle where you allow it to recover, heal, strengthen before you punish it again for growth. That is your building and your cutting phases. You don't stop training, you continue training, but you change your training regime between the 2 phases. The building phase is primarily heavy exercises with lower reps. The cutting phase is traditionally higher reps with lower weights. So less intensity on the body. And that allows the body to recover, heal, and strengthen. If you really struggle with severe joint pain for quite a while, then I suggest you consider changing your regime to a very light training system where you train with very light weights and focus slightly more on cardio for a 6-month period to a year period to allow your tendons and your joints to recover sufficiently. I found that when I struggle badly with my joints, then this is usually an approach that works very well for me. It allows me to maintain most of my muscle mass, and I can even still cut a little bit further, bringing the shape and everything out, getting a little bit more aesthetic look. So there's a lot of advantages of going that route. Point 3, very important point, is that when you lift heavy, never ever bend your hand upwards or downwards. Plain example, when you lift, let's say you're doing bicep curls, and this is now the weight that you hold in your arm. Don't ever bend the hand upwards or downwards. The moment that you bend the hand while you're lifting the heavy weight, that is when you place undue strain on the tendons in the elbow. When the hand is in a straight line with your forearm, then tendons in the elbow is all balanced, the strain that's on the tendon. So that is why people struggling with pretty much golfers and tennis elbows is because of this fact that they regularly bend their hand upward or downward while they're doing a power move. Point 5. I really suggest that you need to get decent straps that relieves the strain on your wrists while you lift. Now the strap that I use, a very simplistic strap, this part goes over the wrist and it tightens quite nicely, and this part is where you then grip your weights whichever way you want it, and it is a rubber part so it grips nicely on the weight. This means you never have to use the power of the hand to really hold the weights, or with pulling movements or whatever exercise you do. The part that's around the wrist, that wraps around the wrist, just pulls on the weights, and that takes the pressure off completely from the wrist. I must not explain that great, eh? Okay. I hope you understand. I'll put some images on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. It's especially useful when you're doing real serious power moves, you know, like pull-ups or shrugs, where you really lift heavy weights, and it places a lot of strain on all the tendons, the joints and stuff and so on. Okay, that's as far as training goes. Now lifestyle. What do you need to do in your lifestyle approach to make sure that you either prevent or lessen the risk for joint pains and tendon pains and things like that? If you're smoking, dude, I don't know how to tell you, but you know this, I don't even have to tell you this. You need to stop. Smoking is putting just a lot of chemicals and poisons in the body. And the more bad chemicals and poisons there are in the body, the more aches and pains you're going to experience. Now, hand in hand with that, unfortunately, also goes drinking. Now, alcohol has been a reason for many guys because of the joint pain. Alcohol is known for the fact that it aggravates joint pain. And many guys, by completely stopping with their alcohol, successfully actually got rid of most of their joint pains. 4 glasses, let's say, of red wine, that's about what you're allowed per week. But even that, for some people, might tend to be too much. So by completely cutting out the alcohol, you take a big step on getting rid of your joint pains and aches. Third point on lifestyle, sleeping. Your body needs enough time to recover and rest and repair whatever damages there are. When you don't sleep enough, then your body simply don't get enough time to repair itself. And eventually this becomes a problem, and you see that when your joints is starting to act up. You need 6 to 8 hours sleep a night. Right, what do you need to do regarding eat? Now, eating actually plays a major role for people that are experiencing joint pains. Number 1, ensure that you get enough filtered, pure, clean water in per day. Now, this is enough. I'm talking about 3 liters to about 6 liters a day. I'm doing about, let's say, 4 liters a day. That flush out all the toxins that's in your body. When you get very little water in, the body tends to keep all the toxins inside. When you drink a lot of water, it helps to flush out the toxins. The less toxins you got in the body, the less pains and aches you will have, full stop. You need to get enough good oils in. Now, this is a big thing. The good oils plays a big part in preventing and lowering your joint pains. Good oils, I'm talking about things like peanut butter, avocado, coconut, olive oil, and things like that. All the good stuff. Your body really needs it. When you don't get that in, you'll many times experience joint pain, plus your actual testosterone levels will be very low. Not getting enough good oils in has a severe negative impact on your hormonal system. So you never want to go that route. You need your good oils. Okay, now point number 3 here on the eating. This is very, very important. A lot of people don't realize it, and a lot of people think this is, Facebook logic, but there's a lot of real solid science behind the fact that you need to keep your body in an alkaline environment and prevents acidic environment in your body. People that experiencing joint pains, most of the time, they have a acidic environment in their body, which means that their body is more acidic than alkaline. And the body is not made to function correctly in an acidic environment. It needs to be more alkaline. The perfect alkaline pH level for the body is around about 7. Now, I'll put on the screen a list of foods so you can see what I'm talking about. Foods that's more alkaline and foods that's more acidic. Prevent or lower your intake of the foods that's more acidic and up your intake of the foods that's more alkaline. This, I guarantee you, when you take this plunge in changing your diet to be a more alkaline orientated diet, you will 99% you will experience a great relief from joint pains. Plus, it's got many other benefits going to getting your body to an alkaline environment. Things like cancer prevention. This is really worth the effort. Now, if you don't want to do a major change in your diet, a couple of small things will go a long way in helping to get your body to a more alkaline environment. For example, every morning and evening, I'll take a drink of lemon juice because lemon juice is very alkaline. Right, now we move on to supplements for joint pain relief. Now, there's 3 things I'm going to tell you here. The first one is coenzyme Q10. Now, coenzyme Q10 has got a lot of science behind it. Okay, so nobody can dispute its effectiveness and that it really works. But if you take coenzyme Q10 for pain, it will only start working after about a full month of regular use. And the moment that you stop it, you're going to lose all the benefits. So it's something you need to do week in, month in, year out. And it really does help. Even some of the local doctors here go so far as to prescribe it lately for migraine sufferers. You know, when they've got no other alternative medication, they prescribe coenzyme Q10. And it's proven to work in 30 to 40% of the cases. The people report back a significant relief of their pain that they have. Now, I take 300 milligrams in the morning and 300 milligrams in the evening after meal. Point 2, MSM. Now, MSM is a well-known product. Again, there's a lot of real science behind this. So this is not hearsay, this is not Facebook and bro logic. This is real science. MSM can severely relieve joint pain and arthritis pain. But again, it's a natural product, so this unfortunately takes you anything from 4 months plus of continuous use before the real effects of MSM kicks in. And this is why many people actually stop before they reach the 4 months, because it's just a too long period for them to use this continuously. But if you're on a mission, you need to do the efforts. So if you try MSM, you will find that you're going to reap some major benefit. Okay, now I take 400 milligrams of MSM in the morning after meal and 400 grams of MSM in the evening after meal. The third one, people, you know, this one really took a bit of mind changing for me to get to grips with. I'm old school, you know, so anything that's got to do with street drugs, I'm really so against it. Anyway, this is cannabis oil. You know, there's been a lot of studies, especially lately, one after the other, coming out, really at quite a speed lately, and every one of them supports amazing benefits of cannabis oil, or cannabis for that matter. And I just couldn't, you know, keep on ignoring the facts. And eventually I got my mind around this. It wasn't easy, but I got my mind around this. And I started incorporating it into my pain remedy program. Now, the cannabis oil is a combination of CBD and THD substances. Now, the THD is the substance that really got the psychotropic effects that when you smoke cannabis, put you on a trip and so on. And the cannabis oil has got an 85% CBD and only a 15% THD component. And that results the oil in having basically no real psychotropic effect like you would have, for example, get when you smoke marijuana or cannabis. So it's fairly harmless. You know, you don't really go on any trip or similar kind of things that happens when you smoke cannabis. So it's relatively safe. And the science studies that's coming out is just so undeniable that one has to, you know, start waking up and look at it from a different angle that we used to. So for me, I'm using 1 drop in the morning, 1 drop in the afternoon, and 5 drops before I go to bed. Yes, it had a very great impact on my pain that I experience, generally, my whole body, not just the joints. Plus, it helps me to sleep really, really good. And my blood pressure is also drastically lower. Right now, there's just good stuff that comes out of it. You know, maybe after more studies in the future, we will see possible negative stuff. But right now, all the studies is pointing that this is a great potential solution for quite a couple of related illnesses out there. And I think it might actually warrant me to do a video on cannabis oil in the future, you know, just to cover that and explain a bit more. Obviously, you know, the cannabis groupies out there, that's no more the smokers. They are preaching a lot of things, you know, this is the wonder drug, you know, this is just for everything, it just works perfectly, you just need to do cannabis, you don't need to eat, this is it. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. There's a lot of the things that they preach, you know, that is nonsense. And but some of them, you know, there is truth to it, and science is basically, with the studies that's been done, science is showing it. You know, there's definitely proof to it. In South Africa, I think we a couple of months away from it being approved to being over-the-counter drug that would be available in the pharmacies here. Okay, the last one, medication. Now, unfortunately, you know, medication is one of those evils that we sometimes have to take part in, but as far as you can avoid medication, especially for pain, you need to avoid it. You rather need to manage the pain with the things I've put in this video up to this point, and you can go a very long way of managing and preventing the pain, sidestepping it. But when you get to that point, you know, where it's just so severe, then you have to look at alternatives like actual medication. Now, obviously, anti-inflammatories and anti-pain medication, this is not a long-term solution. It's a solution for a couple of days, a week, maybe 2 weeks, and that is it. You can't take it longer than that. It's got severe negative implications for your liver, your kidneys, and many other aspects in the body. It's not something good to use on a continual basis. Then obviously, if you got serious like arthritis problems and serious joint pains, then there is a very specific group of medications that you can actually get that can make a very big difference. One of them, for example, is decadurabolin. Now, Deca is a very well-known anabolic steroid, actually, in the bodybuilding circles. And it has this very strange function to basically like oil the joints. But there's also some negative things, you know, that goes hand in hand with it. So it's not all moonshine and roses. And but again, your healthcare provider needs to do some blood work on you, test you, make sure exactly what type of arthritis or pain problem you got, and take it from there, and then prescribe you whatever solution you need to be prescribed. But as I said before, I would really suggest that you rather consider the above points that I've just discussed so far and prevent the actual medication. And you can really go a long way to prevent medication if you put a big effort in with the above points. Now, for those of you guys that want to know more about my actual coaching system that I've developed, this is the one I'm following myself. It's developed specifically for the older guy, you know, looking at all these points and all these things and incorporate it into the system. Just drop me an email, or you can sign up. I'll put the link up for you on the screen now. That is where you can go and read more about the system and actually also sign up. So everybody, cheers. Gert Louw from Cape Town, signing off. May you have a pain-free week of training. Cheers.